to Seismic Dance Event. I'm so excited. I'm Clarissa Cardenas. I am here with the one and only Sam Wolfe. Welcome.
You're too nice. You're too nice. This thing on, baby? Hey, what's up?
We got
what's
a comedian as well, by the way.
I'm trying.
How does it feel to be back in Austin?
To be honest, so I'm really lucky. Mm-hmm. First year officially on tour. Mm-hmm. Actually just counted up 26 cities, different cities this year. Austin to this day, biggest crowd. Wild. Treat me so good.
So you had this whole, I heard you talking in another interview, but you're talking about like the exponential growth, to have like, you do one city and maybe it's 100 people, then you go to the next and you come back around, it's 200 people. So how is that, like you said, this was the biggest crowd. So how has that been for you?
Well, it's interesting because obviously anybody can have a demoralized feeling. I'm sure a lot of DJs can feel the same when you're thinking, all right, it's going to be X amount of people. It ends up being half that. But all of a sudden when you look up and you're like, holy shit, I'm actually getting to travel and do what I love and get a little bit of money at the same time, you know, it's you feel very blessed. But the whole idea is that, all right, you go to that city, let everybody know who you are, what you're about, give them the vibe, and then hopefully it kind of snowballs into more of like I saw this guy, he ripped it, I like his energy, he's cool, and then just putting your head down and grinding, and I feel like that's kind of what it takes. Yeah. That and a hit track, I could use one of those.
Give yourself more credit than that. You've got some bangers. You came here and you played last time for the queen of the Concourse Project, Kelly Gray. Shout out Kelly Gray. But yeah, I mean, you played her birthday. That was a pretty big deal. And that was, for those that did not see that particular show, I came to that. I couldn't even see literally like my hand in front of my face because it was so dark, and it was just like this dark techno dungeon vibe.
And it's funny because, you know, when you're making music, a lot of people ask like, well, how do you start with a track? How do you start a new idea? How do you do this? How do you do that? And my process is I sit in the computer chair, I start making sounds, I close my eyes, and I'm thinking like, all right, if I was on a big stage in a dark warehouse, how would I want this to hit? And no lie, coming to Austin, coming to the Concourse, that was the first experience I got to have, being on a big stage in a big warehouse in a dark, just grimy place in the best way, and hearing those tracks out live, it was like exactly what you're imagining as you're sitting in your computer chair. So it's a very cool full circle moment where you're like, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, was that moment you're like, okay, this is it?
It literally was, and there have been a couple of those where after a gig, you're like, all right, I feel like that was a level up. And then walking off that stage, it was one of those level up experiences. So I'm super grateful to Andrew and Kelly for putting me on, and really appreciate it.
Well, apparently you did well because you're here now. You're here.
Your words, not mine.
At Seismic. So, like you said, this has been just coming to Austin. I know, you have their Atlanta ties. So what's the difference? And I know you said you played how many shows this year?
So a bunch of shows, but 26 different cities between all of North America, Mexico, Toronto, Montreal, and then everywhere in the U.S.
So let's talk about your San Diego trip.
That was amazing.
So he went to San Diego. So tell people about that
very
particular
serendipitous
trip.
moment. I mean, I attribute a lot of the success that I've been having to manifestation, the law of attraction. It's a very real thing. And so I got to go to San Diego for a gig, and then my homie Charles D, he put me on his guest list for his Day Moves Cross Festival set. I went as GA, and then all of a sudden I ended up in the artist area. They were really nice. They gave me an artist band. And then all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, Colin, the guy who runs Crossed and Day Moves, he's like, hey, by the way, Miss Monique, she's not feeling well. Do you want her after party set at Rich's? And I'm just like, I can't believe I went from guest list GA to the artist area all the way to getting to close out the afters it was insane. So
wow. Yeah,
you kind of just throw that up to the universe and, being very lucky.
And what did you think about Rich's?
Rich's was a vibe.
It's different. Which day was that? Was that like a Saturday,
it was on
Sunday?
Saturday night going into Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an absolute
So for
vibe.
those that are not familiar with Rich's, it's a different animal, but it is a vibe. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite clubs in San Diego. I used to live in San Diego a long time ago, but it's definitely a vibe. I love it. But like you said, so going to that and you just kind of have this manifestation. Talk more about that. What's been that mindset for you?
Well, a lot of people ask because they want to know, and I love trying to give as much value and help to people, especially DJs trying to make it, because I'm that guy. I'm just a DJ, a normal dude in the crowd, going to parties for 10 years plus.
He's being very humble.
I'm just trying to do it, and a lot of people are like, all right, so how do you do it? And I think, number one, you got to be there, but then at the same time, you got to imagine, it's a party here, you got to imagine, like, all right, where do I want to be? And one of the biggest challenges I see with a lot of other producer friends that are amazing producers is that they don't see themselves playing on these big stages. They don't see themselves in that. They're not imagining themselves where they want to be, and it's their mindset. I know it sounds cheesy, that's holding them back.
Right.
So the number one thing that I can say about getting to do this is from the start when I decided in 2019, all right, I'm going for it. I burned all my mental ships. I'm doing this damn thing.
Wow.
Once I decided to do that, it was in my mind, and then all of a sudden, people that you never would have imagined you're going to meet come into your life, and then these connections get made, and then it's just a snowball of like, okay, here to there to there to there, and then very, very lucky. But it starts up here.
I agree. I do want to talk about one other thing that you mentioned, and it's just something. This is the life coach in me, but
I love it.
I know you talked about. It's just something I've heard mentioned before, but you talk about how you smile. You're playing techno, so it's very like heart pounding in your soul. Like you feel it. You're deep techno, but you smile and you have this radiant smile, and I feel like you've gotten some kind of. People have mentioned that to you. So let's talk about that.
The way I see it is that at the end of the day, you always have to just be yourself.
Right.
So techno, very dark, very moody, very underground, throw out whatever buzzword adjective that you want to throw out there. When I'm looking out and I'm seeing these people and I'm getting to play stuff that I've been slaving away for, making in my bedroom, like just I'm doing it. I'm like, you couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're seeing these people vibing out to your stuff. It's impossible not to smile, not to be happy. So I feel like a lot of people, they like that energy because it's just who I am. It's not like a shtick. It's not like I'm forcing anything. It just is me. So at the end of the day, techno might be dark and moody, but my little twist is that I'm happy.
Right.
But you can be happy, but then when you smack them in the face with a you're like,
with the
that's
bass.
when you're like, all right, I got you. Don't worry. We're not too happy. We're not too happy.
But what was that turning point for you? Because like you said, I do feel like that kind of comes with, everyone has this stereotype of, like you said, what they think. And so you were basically able to turn a corner and be like, okay, no, like, yes, that may be the stereotype, but this is who I am. And like you said, that makes you unique. So what was that?
Playing in Atlanta, doing the opener DJ thing inside the city, I just was always, even when I'm playing progressive house or chill stuff, I'm just happy and smiling. And a lot of people are like, I like the energy. I'm like, well, good, because it's not going to change.
Great.
So it's always kind of been there. It's always been my thing. And, especially like when I was in Lebanon getting to play, I had this moment where like I screwed up a transition for a second, and a lot of people get in their head. They're like, ah. And I looked down, fixed the decks. I looked up, and I'm like, I'm in Beirut at 8 in the morning playing to 500 amazing Lebanese people. I never would have imagined in a million years I would have a connection to this country. Wow. And you're getting to experience this, and all of a sudden I went from like, I fucked up that transition to like, dang.
That's amazing.
It's fucking amazing. So
that's amazing.
That's the really cool thing about electronic music, EDM, techno, the community. You could be from, it doesn't even matter, any part of the world, and you're going to have a couple things that are guaranteed. You're going to have local scene drama, no matter where. Local scene drama anywhere in the United States is the exact same thing I noticed in Turkey and Lebanon. This promoter's against this promoter. It's kind of funny when you think about it. And at the same time, the community is pretty much always the same. It's always the people that are really there for it, there for the music. You can fit them into this category of like a genuinely good human being. And so it doesn't matter if you're on the left, on the right, black, white, gay, straight. Doesn't matter. You love the music, you can connect on that. I think that's a beautiful thing, because today, in today's world where it's like divide and conquer and we're all hyper divided and all this stuff, it's like, all right, here's a really good community that brings a ton of amazing people together, not just in a country, but around the world.
Right.
Name me something else. Name a better duo. I'll wait.
I feel like we should cheers. We have our...
Yeah. I know, right? We're like, whoa,
we'll cheers,
like, cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. So what is coming on for you? I know you have an after party right now that you got, again, another kind of serendipitous moment.
So they're very, very nice, and because of the weather, I still got to play my set, but I'm going to get to open for Charlotte DeWitt and Enrico. And man, you want to talk about power couple?
Woo.
Talk about a power couple. That's an amazing thing right now. So just getting to meet them, that's going to be a really cool experience. I can't wait for that.
That's awesome. So after today, where else are you at? What's next for you? Are you kind of closing out the
Tampa's coming up. I got Toronto with Umek. Umek's doing a little tour. So I'm doing Toronto with him. Then we're going to El Paso. Then Denver's coming up. I'm getting to open up for deadmau5, play with deadmau5. That's a really cool. Check that off the box. I can't wait to meet Joel. Got to make sure I keep it very chill and do it proper because I don't want them to pull the cord on me and kick me off the decks, but I'm going to do it right, and a whole lot more planned for next year. It's an interesting thing because it's easy to get caught up in all right, I just got to put out new music, but at the end of the day, you don't necessarily just want to keep putting out music. You want to put out the right music. So I'm making sure that the right music is coming for the next year, and then hopefully similar to like the last time I played this set, and it was that leap, we have another quantum leap. And that's all you can do is just keep building and building and building, and then hoping that as more people get exposed to what you're about, they like it, and then we'll just see where it takes us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna take a quick break, if that's okay with you. We're gonna do something with Enter Gray Area. They like to do, it's a rapid fire kind of signature to them. So we're gonna take a quick break, but thank you so much, and so stay tuned for that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. If you want to do that, it'd be great. All right, we're ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
So we're going to do something that is kind of signature to Enter Gray Area. They do a rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
I'm ready.
You said nothing's off limits.
Nothing's off limits.
All right, we're going to hold them to that. Are you ready? If I looked at your recently played songs on Spotify, what would you want to hide?
Kygo.
Kygo?
But I love him. Those vocal chops, Kygo. We love Kygo.
Favorite old school house song?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, Oliver Heldens, he's about to go on. He's got that I Wanna Go Bang. The original, I just found out, it's from like a Dance Mania record from like 92, but I've been playing Pump It Up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? And then, of course, Rhythm of the Night.
Rhythm of the Night. Okay. If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
Personal development, Tony Robbins type speaker. That's what I wanted to do.
This all makes sense.
Yeah, that's
all makes sense.
I like being on stage.
Yes. When you aren't listening to dance music, what are you listening to?
I'm not going to lie. I am in a techno bubble, but I like a good jam band. Jam bands are a very big reason for me being the human being that I am.
Okay.
Getting to go to those festivals. I know this is rapid fire and I'm spouting off, but getting to go to those jam band festivals, all of a sudden you get to really find out a lot about yourself. Get to question life and its existence, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, this music's fucking banging.
I want to see the jam band somehow incorporating the techno. We'll get to that. Okay. Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
I already do breathe like Darth Vader, so, and honestly, I need to stop vaping. That's making me breathe a lot more like Darth Vader. I'm like,
it's a nasty habit. All right, festival or intimate club?
Both at the same time. That would
pick
be
one.
Yeah,
one or the other.
Festival. I haven't done enough of them.
All right. What's the weirdest thing you've ever brought to the club or seen someone bring to the club?
Shout out to all my ravers who, one of my favorite tricks, hand sanitizer on the back of your neck, and then you blow. That's a very nice experience right there when you're feeling it. Hand sanitizer, rub it on the back of your neck. And
all right.
That's a great one.
What sound or noise do you love?
ASMR, like when you pop bubble wrap. That's pretty nice. But it's got to be the thick bubble, like the 1/4-inch one. I sell boxes and packaging for a living, so you got the 3/18 inch, the little bubble, but then the big thick ones. Like when you're a kid, you pop those. Those are the good ones.
Amazing. All right. Would you rather never hear your favorite song again or be forced to play your least favorite song in every set you play forever? Would you rather never hear your favorite
song again? Because I'll just come up with a new favorite. That's the thing about life.
Fair.
Is that, I just, not to take it there, but Family Dog just had to put it down. You love stuff. Life goes on. We're all going to die. And then you move on.
Okay. We're almost done. We got 2 more. What's worse? Random people who you haven't spoken to in years hitting you up for guest list, or a hangnail?
A hangnail's pretty brutal. And when random people hit me up for guest lists, honestly, it's a great opportunity to reconnect and then just be like, yo, how you been, blah, blah, blah. By the way, this show's going to cost me thousands of dollars because the headliner costs a lot. So if you could just support this one, I got you guest list on the next one.
Ooh, that's some good advice. All right, and last but not least, I love techno because...
I love techno because I love electronic music, but I love a nice, big, fat, juicy kick. Big, fat, juicy kick when it hits you in the chest and you have an amazing sound system. Like I just got to do stereo for the first time in Montreal, and when it hits you, but it doesn't pierce you in the ears, and just like. That and the community is amazing. The community is amazing.
There you go. Well, thank you so much. That's
thank you.
The end of our rapid fire. Boom, bam, bam. Well done. You're great. No, thank you. So thank you so much, and we are looking forward to tonight. We will see him open again for Charlotte and Enrico.
See you next time.
And then catch him on all. Where can people find you?
Instagram, Sam Wolfe Music. Send me a DM. I'll answer.
There you go. You heard it for your first. Thank you so much.